This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at an update for the Kindle Fire. It's update 6.3, and it adds some important features like a new reader for the web browser and syncing of your personal documents. That means bookmarks and other stuff too. And we're going to take a look at it now. So just yesterday, the Kindle Fire got an update to version 6.3 of the firmware. And we don't usually cover Kindle Fire updates every single one, but this adds a lot of new features and some stuff people have been asking for. It's a pretty major one, so we thought we would cover it. First off, for those of you who rooted your Kindles, you can indeed root this version as well. And we used just a temporary root actually, so we get stuff like the Android Market on here, and that was no problem whatsoever when we installed our update. But for those of you who care about that kind of thing, it will remove root when you update it, but you can reroute it. And you know where to go look for that stuff, places like XDA developers. Okay, end of geeky public service message. Now we're going to look at some new features here. First, we're going to look at a book, and this is a Amazon Kindle book downloaded from their service, and we've got a couple of new features here, like sharing. So if we press and hold, so we want to share this passage right here, and we can choose share, and you can share it with Twitter, Facebook, or with the Amazon Kindle community. I know a lot of people had wanted that, especially with the Facebook sharing, so well, there you go. It's as easy as doing that now. Pretty cool. Also, while we're in the book, you can see we now have the book extras, the Shelfari feature, which is cool. Now, this really depends on how much information Amazon has in the Shelfari database for a given book. But you can see here we've got character information, organizations that are mentioned inside of the book, whatever they've got, synopses, anything else, it'll show you here now. So you don't have to have an E in Kindle to get that feature. Also very nice. Also new for side-loaded books. Now this is, say, stuff that you've sent to yourself using the mail-to address for the Kindle, personal documents. These guys will sync with the cloud if you want. So here's a book that we mailed ourselves. And you can see now we've got the same features down here, minus the book extras over here, but we can sync to the furthest read page, get to the table of contents, and bookmarks actually work now. Now before with my side-loaded documents, I always had trouble. Sometimes I'd make a bookmark, it would show in the upper corner, and then I'd go back and it wasn't there unless I swiped back and forth a couple of pages after adding that bookmark. It seems to work reliably now. Now insofar as syncing between several Kindles, there are still some occasional glitches where it doesn't always catch up depending on which e-reader you downloaded to first, so keep an eye on that to see if all of your Kindle devices stay in sync. But it's definitely a step in the right direction, and that cloud syncing is also kind of cool for your own personal documents. And again, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want it to sync, you can remove them from the cloud or turn that feature off, but I think probably a lot of people are going to like that. Two other new features are print replica textbooks. You can save up to 60% off the list price of a print textbook and get it here on your Fire. And another one has to do with the movie rentals. Before, if you rented a movie, your movie rental timer started when you actually hit that rent button. Now it starts when you start playing the video, so that's great. So you want to rent it now but not start watching it until this evening or tomorrow evening? No problem. The counter will actually start timing down on you once you start playing that video back. Good stuff there. Amazon has also changed the keyboard layout a little bit based on user feedback, and we'll tap search here so you can see it here in portrait mode, and you can see that they've changed the spacebar a little bit and got rid of some of the punctuation keys. Now don't worry about that. If you're missing your comma button, you can see there's little alternates right there, so you can just press and hold on the period button and you get all the punctuation there. And you can slide around to whichever one you want. So you press and hold and you slide down to get those punctuation things there. But overall, I think the keyboard has improved with this. Also, you can see you've got the punctuation line up here are quickly available, though sometimes autocomplete may wipe that out. What isn't here that people would still love to have, there's still no on-device collections. That means organization still is not at its best here on-device. And by default, the Amazon App Store now silently downloads and installs updates without telling you, unless permissions have changed. Then it's going to let you know. So if you would rather decide which updates you want to have download, or be notified at least if that's happened, you can go into your settings for the App Store and tell it to do so. Inside the web browser, we have some neat features. I'm going to show you the new reading view. And also, by default, Flash is now turned off in your browser settings, but you can turn that back on. And we'll go into the web browser now so you can see. So now you notice we've got one of our review pages loaded for the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7.7 Android tablet. You see the little eyeglass symbol here? This is your reading view. And this works a lot like the reader view on iOS, but I actually like it a little bit better. I find it's a little bit works with more web pages. With Reader, for example, on our own site, we use very simple layouts. The iOS Reader version often just quits after the first column and doesn't give you the whole article. This one does pretty reliably, and it's a very readable look. Now, the thing that's not consistent about it is that it will sometimes pull down images and sometimes won't. And if you're looking at sites that have multi-page articles, sometimes it won't get all those pages in order. But it's definitely a good first start, and it works pretty well for pages that have everything you want on a single page to start with. Obviously, much more readable text works nicely in portrait mode as well. There is no pinch zooming there. They just try to give you what they think is a readable view to start with, and the text is not so super huge, so those of you who don't have the greatest eyes might still find that a little bit small to read. Probably in the future they'll add some more features to that. Also, now for those of you who aren't familiar where the settings are for things like turning on plugins, here's the enable flash one, and you can just tap on that, and I've already turned it to be always on. And you can set it to be on demand or leave it to off if you really hate flash for some reason. And one last thing to mention, well, I'm sorry, there are still no traditional page numbers available as an option that you might find in some of the newer Kindle e-ink readers. You're just going to have those Amazon location numbers still. So for those of you who are really into page numbers, we're not there yet with the Kindle Fire. But still, overall, a very good update for a still really nice e-reader, movie player. A basic Android tablet for $199 is available from Amazon. In fact, they're selling refurbs for $169 now. And sometimes they have sales, like just the other day they were selling for $139. It's hard to beat this hardware for the price unless you need cameras and GPS. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website to read the full review of the Kindle Fire, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.